You are live.
I'm live. You're live.
You're live. I'm live. All right. We've got the banner going, doing the comments. Let's do Facebook. Share to a group. What do you got going on this weekend?
I have a haircut appointment and an eye doctor appointment.
Oh, shit.
That's fucking exciting, isn't it?
It's the most exciting shit I've ever heard, probably. I'm going to try this from my phone. I think it might be easier to do from my phone than all this junk.
There we go. You couldn't hear it, but I was hearing us twice because I couldn't mute my computer. I was getting really freaked out there.
Oh, really? Yeah, I don't know. This isn't bad, but like, I don't know. I just think it's a lot better when we can be in the same room.
Oh, yeah. Would have been a long drive for me, though, to come down just for the night.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, though, man. Like, I was able to get a flight round trip Myrtle Beach, $145 or some shit.
That's pretty good.
Oh, it's dirt cheap. I mean, especially gas prices today.
Oh, yeah.
It's probably cheaper. You know,
It might be.
it might be. It might be cheaper.
We were in Myrtle Beach, I don't know, 10 years ago for one of Jamie's friends' wedding, and it's I like it down there.
Yeah, it's not bad. I mean, I feel like it's a good blend of things. Now that I've seen the country a little bit, it's a good blend of things. I mean, you still got people riding in the back of pickup trucks, rusted out pickup trucks going down the street, and homeless looking people, walking on the sidewalk. But you've got some nice beachfront properties at the same time. It's not, you're not too much one thing or the other.
Her friend got married, and they had their reception in that aquarium down there.
Oh yeah,
the aquarium down there in that little like.
I've heard of it.
I don't know what it is. It's like a complex with like all these restaurants, and there's a little aquarium, and it was like a really cool. Like you're sitting eating dinner, and there's like fish going behind you and stuff. It was a pretty cool atmosphere.
Yeah, I bet. I believe it.
Except it was a dry wedding.
Ooh,
yeah.
It's not the worst thing, but I get that. Just try to get a couple more people on the live stream. Isn't that what all the ladies say?
I don't know.
Doing their little makeup live streams. They're like, I'm just gonna wait for more people to join.
I can't say I watch many makeup live streams.
Oh. What are you cracking? Which one?
The aged hop lager.
Aged hop lager.
I'm hoping I'm very stuffy. If you can't hear, it's like my allergies are going. My allergies are going insane on me.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping I can taste this.
Yeah. Best of luck to you. I got a little bit of a. So you can already tell by my voice. I've got a little bit of a buzz going. I went out to dinner and I had. So first, I got done work. And I ended up meeting up with a couple of guys that do stuff. We were like talking about trying to make some deals and whatnot. And we were sitting out by the pool, by the beach. We had a couple beers. I went out to dinner. I had an old fashioned with a ribeye. So I've got a couple in me already, and I'm feeling pretty good. I'm loosened up.
Nice, a little ribeye.
Yeah. All right, so we're live. I've got the audio drawn up. I'm ready. You ready to record a podcast?
At least half of one.
At least half of one.
Yeah.
All right, so anybody watching, just so you know what's about to happen, we're going to record the first half of a podcast. We're gonna say what's up. We're gonna try a couple beers. We're gonna talk beer news. We're gonna talk about whatever else we're watching, stuff like that. But most importantly, we did Kennett Winterfest this past weekend, and we recorded a handful of interviews. So we're going to go into those interviews as soon as we're done. You're not going to see them or hear them on this live stream, but when you go back and find our podcast, we'll have this section that we recorded as well as the interviews that we recorded. So it should be a good time. But if you guys are watching right now, we really appreciate you. Thanks so much. But you ready to get into it?
Let's do it.
All right, let's do it.
Crack a beer and join John and Mr. Steve as they explore the people, places, and brews of the craft beer world. You are now entering the Might Be Brews podcast.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Might Be Brews, episode 72. Live from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. My name is John. With me, as always, Mr. Steve. How are you doing tonight?
Live from East Fallowfield, PA.
East Fallowfield. Still exciting. Nothing wrong with that. I feel like that audio is still a little bit loud in my ears. I don't know how it's going.
I think it's just the way it's. Yeah, it's fine.
It's heavy. It's good. It's good. But hey, Mr. Steve, we have 1 week until Drive to Survive season 4. How do you feel about that?
I can't tell you how excited I am for the upcoming Sixers schedule. It's going to be great.
Yeah, so that was the next thing I was going to ask you is what are you a bigger fan of right now, the Sixers or the people of Ukraine?
Well, that's not even, you got to go for the Ukrainians, but
you got to go the Ukrainians. That shit is wild. I don't know about you. I'm glued to the news. I'm not watching local weather. I'm not playing Wordle. I'm waking up every day and watching the news and finding out what the F is going on out there because shit's crazy.
You're still playing Wordle. That's not.
I haven't played Wordle in a couple days.
Wordle, have you? Did you miss one? And now Vivid pissed you off, right?
No, I didn't do Vivid. I think the last one I did was
Double I, Double V.
Bloke
was a good one.
Yeah. Shout out Brett. Shout out Craig. Shout out Fish. Gas went up 25 cents today. It's tough out there. I work in the the propane, the home heating, the gasoline, the fuel industry. It's pushing on people. The companies when the prices rise everywhere, the barrel rises. That means less profit for those companies, and they have to raise the price on you and you get disgruntled, but it's not their fault. It's a really tough business to be in, and it really sucks what's going on out there. But it's a squeeze. Gas prices are going up. Everything's going up. I wish I knew how to, place, those stock options, do puts and calls on the barrel, because I think people knew it was going to go up, and if you made that call, it would have happened.
I don't know what do you do if hey, I think gas is going to go up. Like, what do I invest in?
Yeah, so I mean, I'm still learning. I'm trying to figure out this whole stock market thing, right? But I believe that if you have a good feeling about something, you can place a put or a call on a stock or on a future or something like that, where you're kind of placing a bet. Like, I'm putting $50, I'm putting $100, I'm putting $1,000 on this stock increasing 10%, or this stock or this commodity dropping 10-15%, and you're placing this bet, and you might lose that amount that you put in it. But if the thing does go your way, you'll make extra money. So it's kind of like, everybody's doing DraftKings and shit like that. You know what I mean? Maybe if your strong suit is not sports, but you have a good feeling on the energy futures, that might be your play instead of DraftKings. But that's the nerd that I am.
How do I bet on rich people getting richer? That's
Yeah.
where I'll put my money that they're going to have more money.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't know, man. And I don't know. I wish I had it all figured out. But if everybody had it figured out, everybody would be a millionaire. It'd be really easy. I don't really know how to do that.
So I don't want to short your F1 love because I know you're super into it.
Yeah.
I just saw that Haas
Yeah.
let go of that driver.
Yeah.
So did they get rid of him just because he's a Russian?
I think so. And it's a little hairy. So, of course, me being a big fan, I follow it a little bit. The main sponsor of the Haas racing group or the Haas F1 team is a big Russian fertilizer company, Ukulele, right? And that's what's weird about F1 is sometimes the sponsor, along with the sponsor, comes a driver. So the guy that owns the big, rich Russian company that's sponsoring this F1 team, his son is driving. So because they're dropping the sponsor, the kid's going too. And the kid put a statement out, and he did not denounce Putin, did not denounce Russia at all. He was like, we're living in crazy times. I'm just going to focus on my team and doing the best that I can. Didn't say like, glory to Ukraine or whatever. He just, played this middle ground, and a lot of people were pissed. Like, hey, what's going on is fucked up. Like, you should take a stand regardless of your nationality. And he didn't. And I think, that's what happened.
Is it really that tough to be like, hey, war sucks. Nobody likes war. Let's stop fighting.
Yeah, you would think so.
I should be a PR person. That should be my calling.
Exactly. Craig says, hey, like, we're living in crazy times. I completely agree, because when I'm watching the news right now, me being, I don't know, whatever. You and I are not that old, right? But like the World War II,
I'm pretty old.
World War II, the Cold War, all that stuff was before our time. And you think like the world can't get to that point. Like we've learned our lesson, and history shouldn't repeat itself in that way. You would think, right? People always say history repeats itself, but like you would think that, it's not going to happen again, or stuff like this isn't possible. Nobody's just going to invade land because they want more land or they believe they belong to that area. Like, you would think all that shit's figured out. And I'm nervous, I don't know. Like, luckily nothing's happening. We're not involved, but if shit gets crazy, gets nuclear and then whatever, like, I don't know, it could get crazy, World War III, who knows?
I think if the nuclear thing happens, it's just going to be, we're going to see a flash, and that's it.
Right. Like, how crazy would that be? Like, hey, I thought things were going pretty good for myself, and because this fucking guy's like, hey, I want more square footage in Russia, like, they're just going to blow up Philadelphia or whatever. Like, fucking A.
We got to expand our footprint.
Yeah. Well, we're doing our due diligence. We're doing our job. We're broadcasting. We are covering everything that's important, that matters to you. Beer, global pandemic, World War III, and teachers that do bong hits. Mike Fish, thank you for bringing that up. We cover it all, and we bring it to you live, the way you like to consume it, on your podcast platform, on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitch. We are here for you at Might Be Brews.
All while drinking some Human Robot.
Yeah, so I'm really curious, has Human Robot ever been consumed in the state of South Carolina? Is that a thing? I don't know why, but I get real pride out of this, right? I took Warwick Farms to Vegas.
I saw that.
And I walked the strip with a Warwick Farms pineapple, whatever, right?
The Pineapple Invaders.
Pineapple Invaders. Has anybody done that before? I might be the first. That's legendary. That's record breaking. Nobody can break that record. There cannot be another first Warwick Farm beer consumed in Vegas,
I'm absolutely the first person to drink Human Robot in my basement. There is no doubt.
Shit. How does that feel?
On top of the world. That's all I can say.
I got all foam on this. I don't know why.
Mine was very foamy as well. Is that a like a hotel glass that you used to have a
Hotel
piece
glass.
of paper over top of it?
So crazy. So, I'm in Myrtle Beach, and I'm here for a conference at the Myrtle Beach Convention Center. I've got a booth set up for our company, and you book a hotel room, right? And these hotels, these places are pretty cheap right now. So, nothing crazy, $150 a night, it's an average hotel price. I'm staying at the Hilton Grand Vacations, okay? My hotel room is an apartment. My hotel
nice.
room here in Vegas has a bedroom. It's got a Jack and Jill bathroom. It's got a big bathroom, giant shower. The bathroom is almost the size of my bedroom at home. I've got this living room with a couch, a pull-out couch with a nice seating chair, a beautiful view. I've got a balcony looking out over the Atlantic Ocean, this mounted TV. I've got a washer and dryer. I've got a full kitchen. I've got a range that's nicer, a range and microwave that's nicer than my shit at home. Beautiful granite countertops, a nice bar top here with stools. This is the nicest hotel room. This thing is an apartment. It's incredible. So yeah, I've got glasses and coffee makers and blenders and a knife set and an oven and a refrigerator and an ice maker. I've got all this shit right here in my room. It's pretty wild. So, but yeah, that's what I've got. I've got whatever glass is here. I rinsed it out real well, just make sure it was nice and clean. And yeah, that's what I'm doing. Will John come home?
It doesn't sound like it, Brett. It sounds like he's gone.
I need to. I mean, it's kind of nice that I don't have to worry about anybody else but myself. I'm just drinking beers and going out to dinner and having ribeyes, drinking whiskey, having some beers. Yeah. Kind of nice.
So I was very excited when I went to Human Robot and they still had this because this was their anniversary lager. It actually came out, was it like 2-3 weeks ago, I think was when they actually released it. So I was and I was the last 4-pack. She said, yeah, that's the last 4-pack we've got. So I was excited to get this one. Yeah.
That's very cool. I almost get it. When I'm sipping on this beer, I almost feel that, when we learned that age hops are popular in lambics, I feel like when I'm tasting this beer and I'm getting those hops and that bitterness, that it does kind of remind me of that, but it's got a different malt bill or grain bill. It's got a different backbone to it. So it is a little bit fresher. It is a little bit crisper and cleaner. It's not sour at all, but it's got that hearty, that woody, that earthy, bitterness to it.
The earthy is definitely a good descriptor. It's almost like a smidge of funk in there. Just like a little almost farmhousey kind of. It's not dominant, but it's definitely something in there. It's very light. That's what I was struck by, how light it is. It's only looking for the ABV. I thought it was only like 3-point-something%.
Yeah, that's interesting because it does have a slight funk to it, but it's not. It's a unique funk.
And the lager crispness, like it's there, and then the crispness kind of knocks it out of there.
Yeah, for sure. Smidge of Funk is a great beer name, Sean says.
Copyright. Can't take that.
Copyright. We're gonna, that's got to be a collab if you.
That's our collab, Smidge of Funk.
Yeah, Smidge of Funk. Interesting. So, there's a couple things that I wanted to talk about. Of course, this episode is going to be our Kennett Winterfest recap episode. So we're gonna BS a little bit. We're gonna talk some beer news. We're gonna talk what's new in our life, the shows we're watching, stuff like this. But when we're done, this is going to be followed up with some interviews that we did live on site at Kennett Winterfest this past weekend. Mr. Steve, tell me, is there anything that stands out to you that you really enjoyed, or anything you want to say about the Winterfest?
Well, I mean, Jeff just always puts on such a great event, and as we talk about that, first off, we should send our condolences to Jeff. I don't know if you saw or not, but his sister passed away from ALS, and we talked to him a couple times about some of the fundraising stuff that he was doing. So our condolences definitely goes out to Jeff and his family.
Yeah, absolutely.
But he always just puts on such a great event for Winterfest. It was, obviously he can't control the weather, but it was nice and sunny. It was a little chilly, especially at the end, but it was a nice sunny day. It's just set up so well. The local guys really impressed me this time. Most of the stuff that I liked was all coming from the local guys.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. It's amazing that there's still breweries that that I haven't had much from, and I see them and I go, oh yeah, I kind of forgot about those guys. So it's a really cool thing, events like this where, you think the beer scene, you think you've had everything, and there's somebody else that you don't realize is out there, or you forget that is out there. And you try their beers and you're like, wow, I really like this. And Sean's bringing up, Brew Gentlemen, Braddock, PA, out towards Pittsburgh. They killed it last year. They got the award or whatever it was called, for the best beer there. And they had the that extra session. What do they call that session, Mr. Steve? Do you remember?
DEF CON?
Yeah, they've got the DEF CON session. Yeah. So they brought a couple beers. If you paid that little bit of extra money, you got to get into the tent and try a couple things. And it was really nice. And they're great people. We love talking to them. But yeah, they had some really, really, really good beers. They had that Mexican stout. Was that right?
The Mexican stout with just a little cinnamon in there. It was very nice.
That was really, really good. So
they had a Pilsner that was really good.
They did. They had a Pilsner that was really good. So we had a really great time. It was a lot of fun. But yeah, so go ahead.
Were they our last interview?
I think so.
Yeah, we caught Matt just as they were packing up, really.
Yeah, for sure. But it was a good time. So shout out to Jeff, of course, for always inviting us and letting us come and talk to the brewers and to the people that are involved and getting some great content. So Winterfest is more of a walk around and interview people on the fly. When we do kind of Beer Fest or Brew Fest next time, we will definitely have a booth and a table and be able to set up and invite people in and things like that. So it should be a really good time.
Yeah, we got to get more drunks in.
Yes, I think so too. I think it's really fun talking to the people that are out there, what they're, how they're enjoying it, things like that. Because that ends up being really good conversation, and it's fun to hear, how they're enjoying it and what they're doing.
And I also like it because they give us brewers badges, so it makes me feel like a big deal.
Oh, so legit. And I can't believe that. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, especially at the end when we were just kind of standing around bullshitting, and the cops were kicking everybody out, but we had the brewers tags on, so oh, you guys are cool. Stay there.
You're cool. Sorry. Yeah, you're cool. Yeah, I can't believe I really had one job, to bring my phone and the Brews badge, and I forgot the Brews badge.
You got half of it.
I got half of it, but
50%.
Pretty messed up. So let's, time is going pretty quick. Let's get into some things. I got to tell you, when it comes to things that we're watching, things that are coming out, I got a couple things I want to touch on. Euphoria on HBO Max is a masterpiece. It's an incredibly well done show, an incredibly shot show. The directing, the cinematography is unique. There's nothing else like it out there. It's incredibly captivating. It's such a good story. Even if you don't necessarily relate with what's going on, the drug use, the things like that, people say that it glorifies drug use. I disagree. I think it's like a requiem for a dream. It shows it in its raw form, and it makes you think twice about it. I think it's incredibly well done and a beautiful, beautiful show. Season 2 just ended. I highly recommend it.
It's definitely on my list. It's definitely something that I want to get into. We just haven't started it quite yet.
Gotcha.
I like that I have 2 seasons built up now that I can just cook
Yeah,
through.
yeah. It's a good something to get into. People have been telling me about Righteous Gemstones. I'm considering that. I've watched 2 episodes, I think. I'd like to dig into that a little bit more. We'll see. Most importantly, I'm extremely excited about The Batman.
I saw that was coming out, and I haven't gotten tickets yet, and I think we got to figure out a good time to go see that.
Yeah, me as well. That's we my wife and I definitely have to figure out a time to do that. I'm super excited about that, and I got to give a shout out to our buddy John Young. Gave a really good spoiler-free review, saying that it's an origin story without an origin story. You don't need to see Bruce Wayne's parents get killed for the 20th time, getting shot, and the pearl necklace breaking and bouncing off the ground, the asphalt in the alley. There's no need to show that again for the 100th time. But I think it's an interesting view of Batman, 2 years into his Cape Crusader career, right? He's he hasn't been doing it a long time. It's not something that this happened forever ago. So I think that's a unique take. I hear that it's more dark, it's more violent, and I hear that people, the supporting cast, almost steal the show. I was kind of worried about Robert Pattinson being Batman, but I hear he pulls it off and he does a great job. But Zoe Kravitz is Catwoman, and I forget the guy's name, maybe Paul Dano, something like that. He's doing the Riddler, and I hear they absolutely steal the show.
The only thing I was worried about was it going to be too many? Because you got the Penguin, you got the Riddler, you got Catwoman. Was it going to be too much? I wasn't as worried about Robert Pattinson as Batman as I was about Robert Pattinson as Bruce Wayne.
Interesting. Yeah, that's an interesting take on it. Yeah, it's fascinating, and you only know, or you only know when you see it. You'll make that decision when the time comes, and early reviews. The insiders, the websites, the blogs that have early access, from what I hear, are giving rave reviews and great numbers on ratings.
I realize I'm putting a lot of faith in my mute button. I've never tested my mute button, and I'm like coughing and like doing all this stuff. It's not like coming out.
I don't hear it. So I think you're doing a pretty good job. I'm also relying on the Hilton internet connection. So I don't know for sure that I'm coming across clearly. People can hear me okay, but fingers crossed that this ends up being a good show.
The closed captions are coming up, so I guess it must be at least coming through somewhat.
Good. That's a good thing. So another thing that I thought was exciting is I saw that East Branch is releasing a new beer. It's on tap right now. They're going to be canning in the next day or two. I think it's called Broom. It's a hazy IPA that's heavy in pineapple. And, I think that's a little bit unusual for them. I think they've done hazy IPAs and stuff like that. Their what's their flagship, if you want to call it that, but their IPA that they sell the most of. I'm blanking on
aluminum.
Yeah, Alluvium, right?
Alluvium
is a haze inspired beer, right? So it's not that hazy, but it's got juicy hops and things like that in it. It's a delicious beer. I love that beer. This one looks like a good old hazy IPA, and it's not necessarily in their wheelhouse always, but it looks like a fantastic beer. And I think if anybody can execute stuff like this really well, I'm sure it's them. It's a beautiful color. Stuff like that gets me. You see a great Instagram, Facebook post of this golden, hazy looking, beautiful IPA in a glass. And that gets me every time. It just makes my mouth water, and I can't wait to try it.
I actually really like pineapple, like just in general, like just pieces of pineapple. So any kind of pineapple hazies, I try and at least give a good sample to. I don't know if you saw, but they also announced they're doing a double dry hopped float.
Yes, I did see that, and I love float. Float's
double dry hop with mosaic.
That sounds amazing. Float's amazing session IPA. I love that beer in the summer. you've got your Derbach and your float in the fridge all summer, and you're swimming in the pool, you're hanging out outside, you're cutting grass. You've got great beers to go to. I absolutely love them, and a double dry hop version sounds really exciting.
So I don't want to bring it back to away from beer too far, but I was thinking about this movie project. Project is a dumb word, but I'm trying to watch all the Best Picture nomination movies this year.
That's exciting. Right? So what's on the list?
It's like 10 different movies. West Side Story, the new Steven Spielberg version, Licorice Pizza, Dune in there, Nightmare Alley. It's some Bradley Cooper movie, and there's a bunch of them. So that's one of the things that we're trying to do, and we're starting this weekend, is to try and just watch all the Best Picture nominations.
Have you watched any yet?
We have not. We have not started yet. I've been collecting them. I'm like, okay, we got 3 on Netflix. We got 3 on HBO Max. I saw 2 at Redbox, and like trying to figure out how to tick them all off.
Yeah, I always think about doing that, and that usually ends up being a criteria for when I'm trying to find a movie to watch. You see these nominees, and you're like, I never fucking heard of this movie. So right. it's really easy to go find them and watch them and be surprised by something that you didn't know. And then a lot of times there's really good actors you didn't realize at the time. I'm iffy on musicals. A lot of musical movies that are shot like a movie but are a musical are iffy with me. I think Hamilton was I don't want to say groundbreaking, let's say, but like was very different for me because it was shot as a stage, like on a stage as a play, with some cinematic shots in it, but it wasn't one of those movies that had a bunch of singing. So I'm really curious, West Side Story, a new take on it. Steven Spielberg, you probably can't go wrong. It's winning awards. It's probably a good deal.
In general, I hate musicals. Like, I just don't like them, but I really like the music from West Side Story.
Okay. Yeah,
I think that one gets a little different for me.
Yeah. So, a couple other beer things that I want to get to. I just want to give a shout out and make sure people are aware. There's a new brewery in Newville, PA called Whiskers Brewing, and they were actually set to open in March, but they had a fire at their facility at their new brewery, and they took heavy damage. But they are starting to sell their beer even after the taproom fire. So I don't even know where Newville is exactly, but
I'm literally typing to look it up because I have no idea where it's
who knows where it is. But shout out breweries in PA for bringing attention to it, and that's all I want to do is bring attention to it. If anybody knows anybody in Newville or goes to Newville or whatever, look up Whiskers Brewing, try to buy some beer, help them out. They obviously, it's hard enough trying to open up, pandemic, post-pandemic, whatever you want to call it, but with them having a big fire like that, try to look them up, try to buy some beer and help them out because like you always say, Mr. Steve, rising tides.
Beer people are the best people. Rising
beer
tides.
People are the best people. Rising tides, lift all ships. I'll try anything once. $20 is $20. All those things that you say, Mr. Steve. I think you go try to support Whiskers Brewing if you can in Newville, PA.
They are a little bit past Carlisle, so they're like almost 2 hours out, like Shippensburg kind of area.
Yep, that makes sense.
So head out that turnpike, go check them out.
Yeah, give it a shot. Also, public service announcement, also from Breweries in PA. It's almost St. Patrick's Day. It's March. You're going to be looking for that Irish stout. Don't forget that there are other Irish dry stouts besides Guinness. There's a lot of local breweries, a lot of local PA breweries that are doing these Irish dry stouts. Look for those. Give those a shot. Go find your local beer, your local brewery, see if they've got one. Get a 4-pack of that instead. Nothing wrong with Guinness. Guinness is a good beer. Drink what you like.
What up, my dudes?
If what was that?
What up,
my dudes? She is. Hey, Abigail. I was like, looking at a different screen, and I was just like, where did that come from? Did somebody else accidentally hop on like on another screen? I wasn't sure what was happening.
Okay,
Abigail, hopefully.
I got attacked there.
Yeah, you didn't hear any of that, but I was looking at another screen, and I heard that come in. I was thinking to myself, like, who just hacked our show?
The Russian porn bots are back.
Yeah, exactly. So make sure, long story short, look for your local PA, New Jersey, tri-state area brewery. Get a Irish dry stout from them. Everybody's coming out with one right now. It's a good idea. Make sure you do that. Also, breweries in PA, to give them one more shout out. They do this PA Beer Madness, right? It's a take on March Madness, but they put all the PA breweries against each other and people vote. It's a really cool event. And our last guest on the show, Warwick Farm Brewing, they've won it, and they've got a lot of attention, and they're doing really well, and people are excited about them. And there's a good chance they might win again, I guess, right? But I think it's really cool. They bowed out of the competition, but also offered to sponsor the competition. So it's really cool that they've bowed out and said, hey, we know, we're going to bow out. Let's let somebody else get some attention and get voted, best brewery or win this competition in Pennsylvania brewing. But they're also sponsoring it and helping make sure that it goes well. So I just want to give them a shout out because I think that was a really cool move for them to do that.
That was definitely very cool. Let somebody else carry the belt. They had that cool belt, so hopefully somebody else will get a cool belt from it too, the championship belt.
Yeah, for sure. That's what that was, wasn't it? That belt that we saw over there.
So That's awesome. You see any of the seedings of where they have people? Because they have like 1 seeds and the whole thing.
I haven't looked yet. No.
I was shocked that they gave Fermentary Forum a number 1 seed.
Holy cow.
And not because I wasn't shocked because they don't make good beer, because they make incredible stuff, but I just didn't think they were out enough that people would know them enough.
Yeah. Wild. Yeah, me either, but good for them.
Yeah.
I'm ready to crack the next one. You ready?
I can be.
You still sipping on the other one? I want to give one more shout out to Hares Hill Brewing. I think that's a brewery that's been contract brewing out of one of those places in Pottstown. I forget. One of the Pottstown breweries. Maybe it's Sly Fox or something like that they've been contract brewing, but they're actually opening up a tap room in in collaboration, let's say, with a restaurant called Tony Joe's. And they're going to be on Ridge Road in Pottstown. So Ridge Road, I think, is Route 23. But pretty cool. There's another brewery. There's a Hares Hill Road that anybody that lives in Chester Springs, Phoenixville, Pottstown has probably traveled at some point on Hares Hill Road. And I was kind of surprised to see there's a Hares Hill Brewing. So the name stood out to me. It's a very local reference. And it's exciting to see that there's another new brewery popping up. And I think it's a good model, team up with another local restaurant, get into a building, put your taps on, things like that. But 1161 Ridge Road in Pottstown, Hares Hill Brewing is opening up very shortly.
What's the name of the restaurant? Tony Joe's?
Tony Joe's. That doesn't ring any bells with me, but
no,
I guess that's a thing. So, Mr. Steve, why don't you try to give us a little breakdown of what you think this beer is? We've had this before.
This is, Hellertal Pills, the German-style pills from Human Robot again.
I like the dog on there.
It's a cool little dog. We swung by Human Robot for a little pickup, and the family were down there for went through the Franklin Institute, and we stopped and got some to go on the way out of Philadelphia. So I grabbed a couple 4-packs from the Human Robot boys.
Yeah, I'm really impressed with their beers because I feel like they can do IPAs really well, but they can also do these traditional European styles extremely well.
And then they even had remember that tasty cake stout we had at your house like a year or so ago. I think Steve Dunn actually brought it. It was like a crowler, but I thought that one was really good.
Yeah. No, I did too. I thought it was really good. Yeah, I mean, I've been impressed with everything that they do. Definitely have to try to make a show out of that. Shout out Jeff. Hey, no worries. He said he's late to the show, but thanks again for letting us be involved with the Winterfest. We had a great time. We had a bunch of interviews. So stay tuned. After we're done this little segment here, we're going to transfer over to the interviews that we recorded at live there at Kent Winterfest.
Only on the podcast, right? We're not. Are we going to play them on the Facebook?
No, we're not going to do them on the Facebook. Only on the podcast. So it's why don't you do your thing? It's Thursday, but in the future, it'll be Monday. But if you're listening to,
you're in the past, then
exactly
Marty McFly. Yeah, so we're gonna listen to the podcast. Check us out on Monday. It'll come out on Monday, so you'll hear this portion, and then you'll hear some live interviews that we got. Who all we got? We talked to Brew Gentleman, I remember.
Yep, yeah, Brew Gentleman. I've got him here on my list. I could probably pull it up here in just a second on the computer. Podcast. We did Brew Gentleman, Rebel Hill, Rotunda, Wilmington Brew Works, Bomb, and another one for sure. So yeah, we talked to a lot of great people and had a great time. I gotta say one of the highlights was probably meeting Jay-Z Hazy.
Oh yeah. And giving me nightmares for the next 3 days.
Yeah. For sure. Talking to a puppet is a unique experience for sure. Yo, I gotta give these guys a shout out, I guess. But have you seen this? The Sonic the Hedgehog energy drink? I believe they sell it at Wawa. It's called G Fuel. I think it has to do with gamers. It's like gamer fuel. Has no calories, no sugar, but I think it has 800,000 milligrams of caffeine.
So it has no sugar.
Yeah,
and no sugar, calories.
Crazy stuff. No calories. Like I think it's just straight meth or something. There's nothing.
Whatever's in it can't be good.
Water and meth. No, I think it's a bunch of B vitamins. I don't even know if there's any of that like taurine junk in it. It's supposed to be
Ruth
like
Langmore give you that?
Probably. I had to buy it like under the table. But no, I don't know.
You got the G Fuel in the back.
Yeah, exactly.
This shit's wild. We used to have to buy fireworks from the pizza box or something.
Right. Yeah, exactly. You have to get it from that shady person. But yeah, what else did I want to go over quick? Let's see. Oh, there's also I want to give a shout out. I'm here in the Carolinas. There's a brewery that's in the Carolinas called Foothills Brewing. If anybody remembers briefly, when there's a what is that, like Philly Beer Week? Sometimes they come into town. That Jade IPA, they make fantastic beers. But I get to see them at this work event that I do every year because I do stuff with the petroleum industry and they sell to gas stations and we kind of overlap slightly. And so anyway, I get to see them every year and we always have a good time chatting, and they've got fantastic beers. And even though we can't get them on our market yet, I just absolutely love them. The beers are great. And, I'm surrounded by all of these, I guess like North Carolina is not a bad place for craft beer. Asheville's a great, well-known city for beer. And where I'm at, in this setting, there's a lot of, the big players and the AB InBev and things like that, or whatever it is. There's all these guys that have been bought out and are selling and distributing in this market. And Foothills kind of has their own space where they're also distributing to gas stations into those formats of selling beer and distribution. And they do a great job, and they're a local place. They've got great beer. So I just always want to try to give them a shout out when I can.
Shout out Foothills.
Shout out Foothills. What do you think? You ready to I don't have a sounder for this. I didn't bring the whole roadcaster, but you want to do a quick toast of the week?
Let's do a toast.
Let's do a toast of the week. I'll just do a woo. A woo.
There you go.
Toast of the week. It's the best I can do.
Woo
You want to go ahead?
My toast was actually going to be to Abigail, but she left. I was going to try and do it all while she was here. I don't know if you can hear it or not, but I am like allergied up, like just my whole nasal passage. And I laid down after work today. I was like, I just need like a couple minutes. I come downstairs. Abigail had dinner, which was fish sticks and mac and cheese. She hooked it up. She also made one of my little favorite dessert treats, which is it's a Rice Krispie treat, but with Fruity Pebbles.
Oh, that sounds really good.
So toast to Abigail for hooking it up.
Yeah, toast to Abigail. Let me see if I got a. Okay. You can do that. Yeah, so my toast of the week, I got two of them. One of them is I hate when shit like this happens, but I'm traveling, right? And my youngest daughter, Brianna, she lost I think it's her first tooth, maybe. Lost her first tooth. She's got one of the front jaws gone.
Nice.
Oh, completely missing. She lost that I think earlier today or yesterday. I forget, but yeah, just it's crazy. So shout out to her. It's crazy when your kids grow up, right? And they're losing teeth and they're applying for jobs and going to college, all at the same time.
Happens quick.
It happens quick, right? Also, of course, Ukraine, got to give a shout out to them and a toast to them. It's absolutely crazy hearing the things that they're doing, the way the people are not giving up and the way they're fighting things off. But I saw specifically there was a brewery, and I don't remember the name. I saw other brewery pages online posting and sharing about them, and then I actually saw it on the news that they've got these 22-ounce bottles or whatever, they're instead of putting beer in them, they're actually giving them to people to make Molotov cocktails. They're filling them with gasoline, they're filling them with, I forget what it was, but there's something else they're putting in them that makes the fire more sticky. I don't know exactly what the chemical was or what it was they were doing, but I thought that was interesting. And seeing things like that, imagine if something like that was happening at home. I wouldn't be surprised if every effing brewery pitched in like that and tried to come up with ways to help out. So I thought that was really interesting. It's really heartbreaking to see what's going on and what people are dealing with, but it's absolutely insane. So of course, toast to Ukraine, the people of Ukraine, the breweries of Ukraine, everybody out there that's fighting off what's going on. It's absolutely crazy, but shout out to them. That's my my toast of the week.
Toast to them.
Toast to them. And this Hallertau pills is fantastic, by the way.
That's a easy just. I could have that in my fridge all the time, almost like Durbach. It could just always be there, and I'd be happy.
Yeah, it's such a good full body to it. It's got a great mouthfeel, and it's I say the same thing about good beers, right? Balance, body. That's all about.
And it's got that crispness, and it almost has enough hop that if you're craving a hop, it can almost take care of that craving for you too.
Do it. It can take care of it. For sure. Steve, what did you think of, what is that?
That's the Human Robot Italian Pilsner. So I bought that for a case trade fish, so I haven't actually had one yet, where you do the case trade over St. Patrick's weekend. So I haven't had it yet.
An Italian pills, that's interesting.
I will let you know when I have it.
Yeah, sounds good. So what do you think? You ready to wrap things up?
Speaking of St. Patrick's,
go ahead.
I was going to say St. Patrick's. Are we locked in? Are we locked in for St. Patrick's?
Yeah, we're locked
plug
in.
That, or should we? Wait?
Yeah. That's Dan from. What is the name of that shit? I feel bad.
From the Blendery.
From the Blendery. I'm having trouble coming up with the name of it. That is the Dan from the Furrow Blendery and Garden, He's brewing and blending and selling on tap out of Locust Lane in Malvern. He was originally from what was that, La Cabra, maybe?
Correct.
I believe it was. But yeah, Dan's going to be our next guest, St. Patrick's Day. Look out for that. We're really looking forward to it. What else we have? We have Root Down in Phoenixville coming up soon. We've got Be Here Brewing in Avondale coming up soon. So lots of really exciting stuff. Make sure that you're staying tuned because we've got a lot of great guests in the works lined up. If you guys have any suggestions or anybody that you want, any ideas, any comments, make sure you hit us up on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, email us, whatever the deal is. Let us know, and we'll be happy to do it. You got anything, Mr. Steve?
Let's wrap it up.
Guys, if you took the time to hang out with us, to watch, to listen, we appreciate you so much. Make sure you subscribe. Tell a friend. Share, like, subscribe. Help out with those algorithms. So we're out there. Spread the word. We really appreciate it. This is a short one. Make sure you stay tuned. We're going to hit you with the Winterfest content right now on the podcast. But if you're watching or consuming the content, thank you. We appreciate you. And we'll see you next time. Mr. Steve, you got anything?
Have a good one.
Have a good one. We'll see you next time. Later.